Welcome back to the WHHI News. Spring migration is definitely underway on Hilton Head Island. We're talking birds, and here to help me do that is Patty Kappmeyer. She's with Hilton Head Audubon. She's been on the board, editor for their Ecobon newsletter, has written a book, LowcountryBirdsAndNature.com. Thanks for coming back.
Oh, you're welcome. Good to be back.
Last time, we hardly got through anything because we're kind of both kooky about birds, but we're going to talk about other ones that we see that come through this time of year.
Sure.
You wanted to start with the painted bunting. Tell me about that.
Sure. So it is the most requested bird by visitors that I get. Where can I see painted buntings? And typically they're in the forest, dense cover. You'll hear their beautiful song before you see them. The males have the beautiful blue, green, and red. The females look more like lime green and yellow. And only the males sing, not the females. So
should I play the call right now?
Let's play,
okay.
and
it is a distinctive call, although it sounds kind of finch-like, don't you think?
It does,
sometimes?
yes.
Here we go, folks. Hello? It is pretty.
It is pretty.
What a beautiful bird, like you say. And it's unique. I mean, you can't see it in a lot of places.
Yeah, and if you want to attract them to your backyard, put in white millet in your feeders.
And that will work.
That will work, yes.
I used to go to Pinckney Island to see those wildlife refuge.
They're usually on the main path before Ibis Pond, typically in the dense brush. As you pass through the main trail, you'll hear them singing, and they love those snags. They'll come out.
They're great. What else do you want to tell me about?
The red knot.
Okay, so we're going shorebirds now, right?
Yeah, let's move on to two long-distant migrants that stop here on Hilton Head on our beaches, on their mudflats, versus the red knot, and they are one of the greatest long-distance migrants. They travel more than 10,000 miles, sometimes from the tip of Argentina all the way up to the Arctic breeding grounds.
Isn't that amazing?
It is, and a couple of years ago, I was out photographing, and I caught a banded bird. I call him JC1, and I found out that he was actually banded in Argentina and on his way to the Arctic, and he had stopped here in Hilton Head. He hadn't been seen in a few years, so it was nice to be able to report back that he's still alive and he's here. Yeah, and they get their name red knot because during breeding season, which is now, they have a rusty red face, chest, and belly.
They're pretty distinctive.
They are. They're kind of a medium to small shorebird, but they're distinct. You can see them out there now, and their migration is closely tied to horseshoe crab.
Oh my gosh.
Spawning.
Do they feed on those?
They feed on the eggs.
Okay.
Yes, there'll be a feeding frenzy. So typically, when the tides are kind of high and there's a full moon, you'll start seeing them here in May.
Okay. So keep an eye out,
Keep an eye out for
another
them.
shorebird for us?
The whimbrel. It's a large curlew. It has a long down-curved bill. And again, typical long-distance migrants. They, again, come from coast to South America all the way up to
Are they easy
Arctic.
to identify?
They are. You can. They have a distinct curved bill. They're kind of taller, and they have a very distinct whistling sound.
I'm going to play that now. Then.
Yeah.
I hope I got the right one for us here. Let's see.
That's it. It's kind of flute-like.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's pretty.
Very pretty.
And they are almost endangered.
Wow.
We have about 40,000 whimbrels that come through the Atlantic Flyway.
Okay, which we're on, right?
Which we're on, and there was a discovery a few years ago by SDNR, and the DeVoe Bank hosts about 20,000 of them. And they've discovered that those birds come as far as Hilton Head to come feed.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Really
cool.
This
is one that I love.
You love the yellow-billed cuckoo.
I do.
Right. They're also a long-distance migrant, and they come here to breed. And it's a very shy, secretive, slender bird. They hide in the in the forest, in the hammocks, and they have a little bit of a downturned bill. The top of their bill is black. The bottom is yellow.
And long tail, that's the one thing that helps me at least spot them too. Do they have a long tail, or am I wrong?
No, they have sort of a long. They're slender.
Maybe, Allie.
No, they're slender. That's why the tail appears long. It's what interesting is they have their feet. They have two toes that go forward and two toes that go backward, so they can grasp the branches.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and they have they love to eat. They'll eat any kind of hairy caterpillar or insect. And they have their call's like a ka-ka-ka.
Should I do it now for you? Okay, here we go. Yellow-billed cuckoo. Come on, yellow-billed. And you know what? We're almost out of time. Do you want to give me one more real quick?
Sure, the bobolink. They're called the rice birds. They typically come here. They love to forage in grain fields. The males are black, white plumage. They have a yellow,
very distinct
yellow patch on their back. They have a beautiful song. If you want to see them, get out there now. They leave by mid-May. I've seen them up in Maine and Canada.
But go now if you
want
want
to see
them.
them. If you want to see them.
We're out of time. Can you believe it? But thanks again for part 2 and coming back, Patty.
You're welcome. Thanks.
And that is going to do it for this edition of the WHHI News. I'm Allie McNair. We'll see you the next time.